Welcome back to Killshot Esports Weekly Scrims night here of Team Insidious. We are about to get lined up. Once again, it is me, Waffles, for Sid, and my wonderful analyst, Marks, over
What's up?
here covering. How are you doing today, Marks?
I'm good. I'm a ghost tonight, so you're gonna have to
Oh,
deal with my lovely, mysterious face, honestly, as we are kind of getting a little bit of prod stuff set up over here. But I'm doing great. How are you doing, Sid?
I am doing good. Once again, we're here on a Thursday, and it looks like I got a pretty light Friday tomorrow. So, looking forward to the weekend. Gonna be extra charged up since, I got a little bit less to do.
That's good. I'm
How
also
about
very
you?
excited for the weekend. Oh, it's great. We have a holiday up here in Canada. I'm not sure if that's the
Oh,
same for you guys. So I'm like,
what's
yo,
your
I got Monday
holiday?
off. It's just August civic holiday. Fun fact.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah,
And
it's great.
oh, I am jealous. I mean, we get our own fair share of odd holidays in the States. But look, we're starting off already, of course, on the awesome control style map. Personally, my favorite type. A quick rollout coming through here from UC Davis Blue, but well, Insidious has decided to take the high ground instead. They're going to be taking a little bit more time to move around, having that extra information from Argentina on that Sombra. There's the engage coming through, and well, the immortality field has been committed by UC Davis, and from there, just a bit of back and forth and poke damage. Objective has now been unlocked, and oh, Doomfist does get dove a little bit here behind, is managing to escape. Good job coming through for Bluefire, but the first person to go down is Freaky Frog. The shield out of the picture is going to be a big disadvantage for UC Davis, but it looks like Monterey has got some traction, and the shield wall is going to be massive in this next attempt here for them to continue trying to push back Insidious. The point is still unlocked, but not capped, Marks, and well, UC Davis looking to try to take some ground. Insidious isn't giving up easily, but looks like they're gonna finally cap it.
Let's just talk about how insane it was for Monterey to be able to charge up that wall so quickly. Insidious, they really took their time kind of making their way onto that point there. They were taking the high ground there, and that just allowed Monterey to just set up all of those Symmetra utility all over the place. And honestly, that's why they were able to just really capitalize on it. Stalling enough for Freaky Frog to actually make his way back. But right now, we've got Fat Connor coming in with the Death Blossom. If he times that right, that could be huge as the EMP comes out.
Man, EMP is nasty, but there's been two exchanges back and forth, but now Insidious has taken the advantage, and there it is. The aggression coming through off of that EMP. Freaky Frog commits the Earth Shatter, hitting short stack in the process, but the point has been flipped, Marks, and now Insidious has possession. Oh, that's gonna be a DC though from Insidious, and it's always tough when it comes to the disconnect. Uh, I
Yeah.
have heard of this, very rare occurrence where you disconnect, but you don't fully disconnect from the game and somehow retain your ult charge.
Oh,
Um,
that's pretty good, actually.
yeah, I have only seen it happen once,
Yeah.
and I've just only heard tell, never a personal experience.
Yeah. But quickly just breaking down what happened there on that last fight, we saw an EMP come out, and quite honestly, that should have been the thing that sealed the nail in the coffin. UC Davis Blue, though, they really wanted it back. We saw Freaky Frog also commit the Earth Shatter there, trying to get a couple of people onto the ground and buy just a little bit more time for everyone to just kind of speed back in. But right now, they were able to capture the point. Insidious does have control as of right now. So hopefully they can expand that lead just a little bit more to catch up to the 37% that they're a little bit far behind. I know you guys can't necessarily see the game, but you're just going to have to trust me that what I'm telling you is, in fact, where we're at during this technical pause. I think that's the appropriate term, right, Sid?
Or tactical pause, right?
Tactical.
There it
Yep.
is. And we've got Yuri here on the Lucio, so going to be pushing back fast. And, well, looks like they are going to stabilize, so the disconnect not going to be too devastating yet, Marks. We'll wait until what time tells ultimate-wise.
Yeah, and UC Davis Blue, right now they've got 4 ultimates online. It's going to be a press Q to win situation as we see the Amplification Matrix come in.
Oh, and there it is. People flying around, and the Death Blossom that's catching a few people. Oh, and there it is. Insidious continuing to fill the kill feed as they press forward, and well, that's it. UC Davis on the run.
Hey Connor, that was a fat Death Blossom right there. He was able to take out both of the supports, basically shutting down the rush composition coming out from UC Davis. Obviously, you know, the whole point of their composition is to just kind of get in there. But if you're missing your supports and you don't have a lot of heals, you're going to fall down extremely quickly, especially against a Reaper, a Monkey, as well as a Diva. But we're going to be seeing the engagement with Coalescence.
Oh man, and a big EMP with 3 people, but Axelon manages to dodge it and is able to get the sound barrier off. That's huge because now the wall has come through and they've got the kills on top of it. Can they dodge this bomb? Oh, Virus can't quite get out of there. The win is still in possession of Insidious, but UC Davis is looking to flip this, and they have.
Yeah, it was honestly, once again, Monterey coming in with the wall. Turns out if you just wall off the enemy team, you're going to have a good time. Despite the fact that you would expect the composition from Insidious to be able to navigate around that wall pretty quickly, it shut down a lot of what they wanted to do. Not necessarily things, but that's a huge shatter just right in the spawn.
Yeah, already engaging and so aggressively in this front line. It's not paying off though. Bit off more than he could chew, and now Insidious is on the attack. They're continuing to push forward. Even though Argentine goes down, they still have the numbers advantage. 69% for UC Davis, and it is gone. Insidious now pushing forward, trying to continue to capitalize and take space, but UC Davis has regrouped. They've committed the immortality early in this fight, and they're not going to really be able to take it too as aggressively. That Ant Matrix is going to say otherwise, and the Death Blossom there does find 2 from back Connor. An absolutely fat Death Blossom, and oh, UC Davis trying to make the same thing happen for them. Can't quite make the results, and wow, what a back and forth coming through with Insidious taking this first point 100% to 69.
Nice. But also too, let's quickly just mention there, Argentine on that Sombra doing an absolute massive job there. You saw that as soon as Fat Connor went for that Death Blossom, we saw that there was a, what do you call it? There was a Sigma there ready to just eat up all of that damage. And then we immediately saw Argentine come in there, get the hack off, canceling that, just allowing it to do absolutely massive damage to all of the people just hanging out behind the, what do you call it? Amplification matrix there. So really good coordination and really good discipline in order to get off that manual hack to make sure that Fat Connor got maximum value out of that Death Blossom.
Exactly. And I mean, being set up that well by your teammates, he had everything to gain by popping that ultimate. There was nothing to stop him or to really contest him from outputting that massive amount of damage. I don't, you gotta be careful about those Reapers coming through, Marks. They will shred you, and they will shred you fast.
Absolutely. There's nothing like a good old Reaper hopping in front of you being like, oh, here I go killing again, as he just unleashes the shotgun's fury into just essentially all the squishy characters in the back line here. But we're going to be seeing UC Davis Blue busting out with the Pharah Mercy combination here, and Insidious don't really have an answer to this, but it might be the Diva that is going to have to try and contest that Pharah up in the air, really shut down the value here as the teams engage.
Back and forth here near the bridge and around the advertising scrolling pillar. So far, UC Davis stuck a bit on this bridge. They're gonna get pushed back even farther as, well, Insidious is aggressing forward. It seems like this Reaper is being a huge pressure on them, Marks.
Yeah, you know, I talked about not having an answer to the Pharah, and it turns out that the answer was actually, let's just ignore her in the air and roll over the rest of the team there. Because even though the Pharah was pumping in the damage, it just wasn't enough, and we saw how far forward Insidious was going to get. But now there's a nano boost on a Winston. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, that's a 4-man EMP, only missing Freaky Frog and Axelon, but it's not enough to keep anyone alive as Bluefire does go down, and UC Davis has to give ground, otherwise they're just going to keep staggering themselves.
Yeah, It's going to be a quick reset for them as we see Khakis fly off the edge there. Once again, they're not getting as much value out of this Fire Mercy that they would have expected, but now there is a barrage online. So if Blue Fire gets into an optimal position, somehow sneaks up on the back line, that could be huge. But we're going to be seeing UC Davis Blue now decide to opt to rotate around the back side of the point. Just really make sure that they can get as close as possible in order to really put pressure onto Insidious.
Yeah, with the barrage online, it's going to be up to Dream Psychotic to do the same thing you did earlier and block it all. You see Davis.
Eat all those missiles.
There it is. Monterey gets an early pick onto Fat Connor. Marks that's so much damage off the board, but look at that! Blocked there by Dream Psychotic Defense Matrix. Blue Fire does manage to finish off the kill onto Yuri in the end. The damage is too much and the amplification from the Mercy's a lot. Self-destruct is committed, but Insidious doing everything they can to stall this point out in their favor. They've got possession, but it's not going to be for too much longer.
Yeah, finally, as Demon Breed falls down, that should be a point flip over here. And honestly, good ult cycling coming out from UC Davis Blue. You know, they had more ultimates online, but they had that discipline in order to hold onto it just to not overcommit it. So that way, they still got a chance in this fight. I'm going to be watching Fat Connor and Argenty kind of coordinate the EMP similar to what we talked about last time, especially too if they take the engagement on the point. That's a small room, and that's a big old typhoon of shotguns flying around in your face, so it's going to be extremely scary. But their first step is going to be making it onto the point. As the EMP comes out, it's huge.
Wow, and you know, missed the same two people it did last time. Fat Connor pulls the Death Blossom. Axelon goes down, and now Insidious just absolutely aggressing forward, killing everyone from UC Davis. A couple of them did go down from Khaki's self-destruct, but Marks, it's glass fight territory, and they have to get back fast.
All right, Khaki's on the wrecking ball. Let's see those boops. Let's see that ball roll forwards before it gets nerfed on rollout. So it's going to be really tough for them right now to be able to get this, but they do have a nano boost online, which they are going to be committing here as we fight.
Stack goes ahead, Reason forces her team with Sound Barrier, and well, the kills are coming through for Insidious. They were ready. Just blocked right there. She managed to kill herself right after that, and well, the rest is successful coming in from Axelon, but Marks, I don't think it's going to be enough. UC Davis trying to do what they can, and well, looks like that is a Death Blossom to seal the deal.
And what an excellent round that was. Honestly, Blue Fire just was not able to get any value from that Fire Mercy combo. Usually it's a menace in the air when you see that come in and you're like, I don't have any hit scan. What am I supposed to do about that?
Yeah.
But once again, like Insidious, they just kind of didn't care. They were like, okay, that's fine. You got 2 members up there. That just means we've only got to fight 4 on the ground over here. And we're like, okay, well, let's take that fight. 6v4, let's do it. Especially too, going onto that point, just being able to just overwhelm and destroy. Once again, great coordination coming out between Fat Connor and Argenty, getting those hacks off, and then just allowing Fat Connor to just pull out the shotguns and shoot people in the face, which is what you want your Reaper to do. So honestly, just a great showing from Insidious. Now they're teasing us with the Pharah, so let's see if they want to bust out the Pharah Mercy combination here. Really show UC Davis Blue how it's done. You know, it's just like, you guys had an idea, but we're going to show you what it could actually look like in this next fight.
You know, trying to show you what varsity players do here. We're kicking it up a notch. I will say, you know, Dream Psychotic was just peeling so well for his team. They weren't being hard targeted. They seemed to be very grouped up and close by, but a lot of those rockets were mitigated by that defense matrix, and oh man, that is a good diva for your supports. I'm sure both of them were very happy with that.
Absolutely. As long as you can eat up the rockets and hope that the Pharah somehow kills themselves with the barrage, and then usually you're going to be having a good time if you're support.
Which could happen.
Argenty gets that first pick onto Blue Fire. That's going to enable this fight to be a little bit easier, but Symmetra turrets are set up on point right now.
Ooh, and there's the Immortality Field also committed by UC Davis. Everyone here is on the point as Insidious is trying to roll forward. The turrets are very discouraging, and they are slowly going down and getting taken out of the picture, but Monterey is charged, Mark. Oh, you gotta be careful when you're aggressing. Looks like Argenty on the side, and out already has the barrage!
No way.
That was so bad!
So, just to break down that team fight, you know, it seems like UC Davis Blue were similar to what I guess Insidious was trying to do. They were like, oh, you know, we really like that tactic where we just ignored the Far Mercy, so let's just do that. But the problem was they were playing defensive on the point, which just allowed Argentine to get all sorts of angles on them. And he was just peppering in rockets, even if it wasn't necessarily finding all the kills necessary. It was enough to build up a barrage, and especially in those tight corners, barrage a little deadly, especially without a diva there in order to eat all those rockets. So it's gonna be pretty hard, but with the mine slowing people down and getting Axel alone, that's not great for UC Davis. But they do have the Symmetra Wall and Amplification Matrix, which when they regroup, I imagine they will aggress with that. Oh, Argentine again!
Wow.
Gotta be kidding me, man.
Well, so it's really tough for UC Davis too, because they, even though they are playing Symmetra and Lucio, which are technically the fastest characters out there, it's only fastest rollout wise. They have the Reinhardt and they have the Zarya, and that's just not nearly as mobile compared to the Diva Ball. So anytime they want to get somewhere, it is going to take longer, and they're just getting attacked from all angles.
Yeah, well, once again, this combination really favoring just setting up on the site, but we're going to see the sim wall come up, which could allow them to get the point.
Yeah, dancing around the sim wall, trying to dodge some of that damage.
Ooh.
A pulse bomb, that's going to be huge coming up, but we'll have to see how they get along without Demon Breed. The sound barrier comes through, and UC Davis is feeling strong. That's a Metro turret once again, so charged up. Short stack is in the side of the zone, just absolutely flying around left and right. The bomb
No way!
iconic. Marks, that was it. That just sealed the deal for them.
Oh, no. You've always got to check your divas, especially too when you hear that. And I'm going to be honest, UC Davis Blue, it seemed like they were just like, the team's got it. It's going to be fine. But turns out it wasn't, because nobody was watching the Diva Bomb, which just allowed it to get 3 values. And that's going to be a team end. Now, they've got to touch it because it's overtime.
Yeah, Fat Connor has gone down early, but Axelon has already been taken out of the picture. Insidious here, holding strong.
Again.
Holy smokes. It is the Argentine show here on this Vera for this last round, Marks. Just absolutely dominant coming through from him. And, you know, each time we saw Insidious get better and better against this UC Davis Blue team. And, you know, it was a lot closer that first round, and it just slowly whittled down until it was only 12 to 100, that last one.
Yeah, that last one was a little bit rough, but once again, you know, the way that they wanted to play it, they really didn't have an answer for the Far Mercy. And that's when we just kind of see the absolute value that can kind of come out of that combination, especially too if you're not running over the rest of the team. Once again, it was just, they just allowed Argentine to be up in the air, raining down those rockets without too much trouble. So that's kind of why they lost that so significantly. But UC Davis Blue, they might be trying some new things out here. They might be practicing some of their different team compositions. Totally. And as we queue up to our next map, I'm going to be curious to see what they want to pull out on Havana.
Well, if, you know, we saw the team cards just flash up for a brief moment. Both Argentine and Short Stacked had cards for participation above, I think it was like 43 and 57%. So that's coming from your Sombra and your Mercy, which obviously we saw them paired up on that last one together as the Pharmacy instead. And I mean, okay, in the play of the game as well, we see Fat Connor getting ready to do his Death Blossom, presses triangle, but in the middle of it, we see the opposing Sigma, Khakis, use his kinetic grasp. But what happens? Argentine hacks him out of it, so Death Blossom gets full value.
It's,
That's
honestly,
so beautiful to see. The little parts of play of the game, I think, that, you know, deserve some recognition.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so really nice job coming through from particularly that duo. I mean, there were 2 peas in a pod that whole last round.
It's always good when you have your DPS, you know, being real good to each other. So, having a great time, Sid. Let's not discount them at all. But we are going to be going in now, as it's going to be Insidious starting us out on this defense here. We're going to be seeing actually a Widowmaker duel between Fat Connor and Monterey, both peppering in shots with, honestly, Oh man, okay. They're basically running mirror compositions, except Insidious, they've got that Zenyatta. That's going to allow for a lot more damage and melt at the cost of not being able to heal your team as much. So a little bit of a risky gamble, but let's see how it plays out for them.
Yeah, it definitely puts a lot more pressure on the snipers of UC Davis as well, because they're being damage boosted. If you're not bringing the value, is it worth damage boosting? Looks like it is, though, because the kills are coming through for them. They do lose Freaky Frog, but I don't think it's going to matter. That res is online, and, well, they are happy that they invested this way. Look at that, just aggressing forward, and Insidious has been thrown so far back that, I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to contest this here at the end.
I don't think so either. That was maybe 2-3 picks, and that's a point right there. They are going to be able to make it back just in time to contest it here, as we're going to have a little bit of a battle on the point number 1.
I mean, I have thought I was on the point and was not. I am so impressed they were able to pull that off. Dragons are tearing through, manages to take down Yuri. They were very close range, did miss the tanks, but UC Davis doesn't care. They are continuing to pump the damage into Insidious and, well, push this point forward.
Yeah, it's looking, honestly, really good for them. You know, they pocketed their Hanzo, which, you know, maybe you would have expected the Widowmaker pocket because that'll just allow for more damage, even if you hit, like, the body shots or something. But what this is actually allowing is it's just allowing Hanzo to shred through the shield.
Yeah.
And that's extremely important to make sure that your Widow can get the maximum value as the Supercharger comes down for UC Davis.
Yeah, and that means they have an advantage in their own sniper duels as well when the shields are already taken offline. They're trying to work with those halts coming through from their opposing Orissas, but just can't quite land the headshots they need. I like this off angle coming through from Green Psychotic and both snipers, but the Dragons are gonna tear through. They don't find anything. I think they're just a little bit too low. This Amp Matrix way off on the side finds a bit of value on the healing elements, and, well, our UC Davis just continuing to push forward. Someone has to contest the cart here, and what a accretion coming through! Stuns him right out of it, and Kakis is just enabling his team so much, Mark.
That was ridiculous. I mean, you know, I too like to fly in the air and use my ultimate, but if a giant rock flies towards me, that's probably going to shut me down as well. Now, once again, UC Davis Blue, they've got a lot of ultimates online still, as they're just being so aggressive. Gene Psychotic in a very bad position.
Thought Speedweed was gonna get taken out, but now he's all alone in the small hallway. 3 people are looking at him and chasing him down.
Oh no.
Yeah, not gonna come out
You
very
hate to
well
see
for
it.
you there. Back Hunter's trying to put some pressure on the backline as Tracer down. So Insidious has changed up their tactics, and I'm not sure if they're gonna stick with it for speed only. Someone get on the point. There it is, Demon Breed, right at the last moment, but he's lost a couple of teammates, and now it's just the tanks contesting here. Valkyrie's been committed, and there are heals all over the board. UC Davis is going to go ahead and cap the second point.
Yeah, look at the stall that's happening on Speedweed right now. Obviously, you hate to see it if you play any support character out there. But once again, this has been, you know, UC Davis Blue, they find a couple of picks, and that's enough for them to just get really aggressive and then run over the rest of, what do you call it, Insidious. And Insidious, they're still backing off and still getting picked, which is really staggering them out, just allowing UC Davis Blue to just move the cart so forwards. Hardly any full team fights have been committed, and with Bluefire taking out Fat Connor just like that, it's looking really good for UC Davis here.
Yeah, and you know, it looks like we've got a bit of a flip coming through from our last match, right? We saw Insidious copy UC Davis's pharmacy, and now it looks like UC Davis has taken a page out of their book of aggression as they just continue to move forward and push until Insidious is just backs up literally against the wall here on this third point. They're barely able to trickle out of spawn, and there it is, a pick coming through, instantly negated, of course, by that Mercy. The kills aren't coming through fast enough for that to really be, you know, as much of an offline threat as they would like. A very long fights coming through from these team marks.
It's still going on, but Speedweed taking Monterey, that's something you don't see all the time. Instead getting the better half of Widow. But regardless, right now, Insidious have a little bit of a funky team composition, so I hope that they can make this work. It seems like they're committing full dive, meaning, you know, they've got really mobile heroes, which are just going to allow them to pressure out that bunker. right now, really just shutting down Blue Fire, which is going to be super effective. Speedweed, though, you know, he's got the cure. He's going to be taking out Virus, but that's going to be nullified with the Resurrection right there.
Well, I mean, after that hold right there, Insidious looked a lot more like they did on that control map as far as, you know, aggressing forward and knowing when they need to move and just get close to the enemy to shoot those bullets. Attack! Which, of course, is what
castle.
UC Davis, right? UC Davis, Ant Matrix doesn't find much, but, you know, that's very good by Insidious here of pretty much dodging some of that damage, Marks.
It's a very spread out minefield committed as well, which actually just turns out to be absolutely perfect as RGT also gets to stick onto Cocky. We're going to be seeing a res coming up here, bring him back into the fight, but this should be won by Insidious. Quite a few ultimates used there to even engage, so now their ult bank is only going to be their tanks. Meanwhile, Insidious, they've got a lot in their back pocket here, so should be good enough to win this.
One person caught there in the flux, but there's the self-destruct thrown in the back, zoning out a couple people there, and the anti coming through. Both tanks have been hit, and the Dragons tear through the middle. Everyone kites over to the left side of this archway, and oh, the trance coming out from Speedweed there, keeping everyone alive. Not Yuri. Yuri doesn't quite make it, but it's okay. Fat Connor is coming up big with the kills here on this long range, and UC Davis can't quite break through this archway once again, and now we're only at 1:15 left on the clock.
Yeah, Argenty tearing it up on the Tracer, might I add, but oh, Dream Psychotic just took a little bit of a dip, probably to either reset into the back or swap through heroes there, but right now, Insidious, you know, they had 4 minutes on this one, and they boiled it down to 1, which is kind of insane, forcing the swap now from UC Davis Blue. You know, they're feeling their blues, that's for sure. So they're going to try and switch it up, and let's see if this combination is going to work.
Oh, Dragons are going to open up the fight right up there to the high ground. The slash just takes him out, and he follows up with another
No way, no way.
It's a huge board. This very, very close to last fight territory here as Insidious continues to sweep UC Davis off. They're going to touch. It's got to be fast.
It's gonna be extremely difficult. I don't know who can touch actually.
I don't know if
you know, they do have a Winston there, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to get enough distance. It's gonna be tough, especially too because Dream Psychotic is in prime position to what do you call it? Boot people away. 10 seconds left on the clock here. We're gonna be seeing the engagement and the Widowmaker ult being used. Oh no!
Oh, Freaky Frog moved him right off the edge.
He slid with the frogs.
And now, with that, Insidious is just getting the kills here. Monterey does manage to help try and turn this fight, but that minefield just zoned them completely away from the payload.
Wow. Wow, that's really unfortunate for UC Davis Blue, but I think that this just really highlights the strengths of Insidious. When they were playing that bunker cob, you know, not as strong as UC Davis Blue, but as soon as they swapped to more of that dive style where they were like, all right, every man kind of for themselves. I don't want to say fully, but when they decided to just switch into that, we see them get a lot more value there. And I actually think that works out with Speedweed playing that Zenyatta as opposed to having more of the heals because, you know, the Wrecking Ball can fly around, D.Va can quickly reset towards your team, and Tracer's got that recall just allowing for that sustainability. Especially too, when comboed with the Discord Orb, you can melt people down. And so Insidious just looked really good as soon as they swapped their compositions out there. But UC Davis Blue, that bunker comp works when you've got a defensible point, and now that they're going to be on defense, this turnaround, I don't want to count UC Davis out just yet.
Well, and UC Davis had a great offensive push.
Absolutely.
I don't know what happened there for Insidious, but I don't think they were ready for the aggression coming through. And when UC Davis popped off, their snipers were popping off, Marks.
Yep. And of course, when you have an Orisa 4 legs and you see those 4 legs charging towards you, it inspires fear into the hearts of everybody else.
Bit of a split approach or split attack coming through from UC Davis. Freaky Frog already booped to the low ground as that Orisa and discorded on top of it. There it is. Virus has to join him, and well, it's actually Blue Fire going down first. They do manage to fend off this harassment from the back. Never mind, it's not enough. He does manage to take them down, and well, now Insidious just continuing to aggress forward. The only 2 people left were the Orisa and the Baptiste, and well, it's going to be tough for UC Davis.
I said UC Davis, they're playing the bunker comp, but the bunker comp doesn't work if you split into two halves. Demon Breed, just really distracting, honestly, Freaky Frog away from the rest of the team, leaving the rest of them up to hang. You know, Freaky Frog, I guess, was just like, ooh, round, shiny object, and just completely turned around and chased Demon Breed away. And, you know, I talked about the 4 legs of Fury, but compared to a Wrecking Ball, Orisa's a very slow character, and that just allowed Insidious to just collapse upon what do you call it? UC Davis's split up groups, and once you kill half the team, then the rest of it pretty easy to do as well.
Right, and that ante has to be committed early here for Team Insidious. Demon Breed going down in the process as well. This could give UC Davis the traction they need, and Argentina is out of the picture. Marks gets taken down when he dove in too aggressively, and now UC Davis knows that they can push forward. They've got that advantage, and they are clearly trying to take advantage of it. Dream Psychotic flipping the table potentially. Monterey is brought back with the res, which, you know, that's what it's there for. And the dragons are now going to tear through. Insidious has to split up and dodge them, but that's going to have to be a reset.
Nothing like it, a Widowmaker popping off. Just gonna be like, you know, it's time to turn this up a little bit, and just picks off both Fat Connor and Yuri. And that's really gonna slow down all of the momentum. You can see that Demon Breed wanted to keep that one alive, dropping the mines onto the point, but as soon as Monterey got those picks, it was, you know, let's just say some Widows were made. But now, we're going to be seeing them re-engage. They got 3 ultimates, as well as a Blade. We could see a Nano Blade during this fight, which is always exciting to watch.
Oh, there it is, the Blade coming through from Fat Connor. Nano is, of course, topped off onto him, and he is trying to cut his way through the tanks. Does manage to cut them, and, well, there it is. Insidious winning the team fight. I mean, winning a team fight with the Nano Blade. Marks. Are we surprised?
Hey, you never know. If it's my ranked games, you know, commit the grab, commit the shatter, commit whatever the heck you can do to stun that guy out of his blade and take him out ASAP. But, you know, here we go. They're going to be re-engaging this one right before the thing makes it to the point. If they can! Huge body block coming out here, but alright, they're re-engaging.
They are already manned down. Well, actually, the res has been used up. Freaky Frog is here, but Khakis goes down. Didn't have the heals when the res is happening, and it was a scrappy fight straight on the payload. Now you see Davis is doing everything they can to stall, with Freaky Frog also committing his primal.
But he gets taken down as well. Right now, Fat Connor absolutely tearing it up on this Genji. Throw those shuriken, pull out that sword, because they're just going to be cutting it up on UC Davis Blue. We can see UC Davis, they've decided to adapt their composition, and I do like it a little bit better. They are getting a little bit more value out of it, but right now, their biggest problem is Argentina. They have to find a way to punish Argentina from going in and harassing their backline, especially coupled with Demon Breed. That's been absolutely deadly. And so UC Davis, they got to be watching their 6s literally, otherwise they're going to get punished for it, as this is a really aggressive attack. But, you know, a hold, not impossible.
Winston Bubble already committed and used up to stop that Diva Bomb. 2 exchanges back and forth, but with less heals for Insidious, it could be a tough push. Looks like the DPS are going to try to step up, but Res Online helps Monterey try to keep this even and keep them on the defensive here. That's going to be really tough for Insidious now, especially after they've lost Demon Breed. And, well, Marks, it's going to be a miracle for Speedweed if he can just continue pushing this payload all by himself. There it is. Not surprisingly, Dive comes through, and, well, as Bluefire fires the dragons down just to try to give them a little breathing space, now the engagement, hard engagement, comes through from Freaky Frog. He's been nanoed, and everyone here has been full team fight, or team.
Here we go.
Here's the Dragon Blade coming through, and the grab on top of it, Mark. Fat Connor's finding everyone on UC Davis, and the res is denied on top of it. Even though they're going to pass this kill box here, still a little bit farther to go.
That's a little bit of a tough one there, but you know, let's see if this works. Okay, they're coming out on the stall heroes, as there's going to be an engagement coming out on point, but the picks are coming through.
Dang. Yeah, that was a very close stall there, especially by Bluefire. He just touched at the nick of time.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, Demon Breed hard shut down the other opening, you know, to exit spawn, and you either wait for the mines to clear, try to clear the mines a little bit, I mean, you can't run straight into them and
No.
die because then you definitely can't get
I
on
mean, you
point.
could. You could, but I
You
don't think
could. I
that's
mean,
going to
if you want
help.
to clear them that way. I'm
Please, I'll get
clearing
them out of the
them.
way so you guys can go. Yeah, I believe in you, team. This is a team game.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah. Me?
Oh, but I have to say, I think that these teams are definitely putting a lot of pressure and focus on some of the individual skill that these DPS bring to the table on both sides. And, it's definitely not always the easiest to pop off all the time, like we've seen, like Monterey do. But I wonder how much more the teams can do to try to take more space or maybe provide more resources in an alternative way to get traction because they're not winning those head-on one-on-one battles all the time. They're winning them sometimes, but not consistent enough to really, I mean, obviously take the point or take enough space.
So, when you look at the keys to success that UC Davis Blue was able to get originally, the biggest thing was finding those opening picks, And that became a lot harder when we saw Insidious adapt their playstyle in order to kind of match that more mobility, able to get out of the way quicker. Because especially too when you're playing that poke composition, well, obviously it's good against like something if they're like a Reinhardt, rushing towards you, all of that jazz. But as soon as you've got like, for example, Demon Breed on the Wrecking Ball, swinging around, running, like just bowling over all these pins in his way, making his way around, and also he's got the shield sustainability, then suddenly you lose a lot of that opening potential. And even when they did get like one pick or something on like Speedweed or something, that's all good because how the team is kind of made to play is that they just go in there, burst damage, and then get out before anybody gets hurt too bad. So their style really relies on kind of getting in and getting out really quickly. And we didn't see UC Davis Blue capitalize on that at all. As a matter of fact, they tried to adapt towards the end there, but unfortunately at that point it was a little too late because the snowball of ultimates that Insidious were working on just started rolling, and they didn't even have a May on their team, but it was absolutely massive.
Yeah, I mean, a snowball here is just when you get rolling down the hill and you turn into an avalanche sometimes. And I can totally feel that way when you fall behind in your ultimate economy or, like maybe giving up that percentage you have is not as beneficial, but it's such a hard call to make. Like, when is it actually time to give this up and it's truly not bringing value? And it makes me wonder who is also, calling the shots back there and trying to keep their team mentality headspace.
Absolutely. But now we're going to be moving into Hollywood as it's going to be Insidious on this defense first. Both teams opting to play a little bit more rush style composition. We're seeing the lovely duo Reinhardt and Zarya come out from both of these teams. But the main difference here is going to be the DPS. Fat Connor specifically on that Torbjorn is a little bit of an interesting pick, but I do like Argentine playing this Mei. I think Mei just gets a lot of value on these rush compositions, and without someone to punish her, then she just absolutely freezes it up, and it's going to be a cold day in hell for UC Davis Blue if they don't figure out a solution to this Mei.
And the utility of Mei alone to section someone off from their team is just massive, regardless of nerfs and buffs. Like, being alone in a team game, sad there. Immortality Field's committed, good thing. That flashbang was going to shred Demon Breed right there. And, well, he manages to stay alive. 2 ticks already, Mark!
Oh,
They
no.
didn't get on the point! They're letting it cap right underneath their nose, and now they've been pressured into the hotel room there. They just lost it?
Yep, they did. You talked about being alone and how much that sucks. And, well, you know what? That's kind of what happened to both Demon Breed and Argentine. Except we didn't expect them to be the ones who were going to be alone in that little point there. They were really taking their time, but that just allowed UC Davis Blue to just move in there and punish the only 2 who were in there without any healing either. So, really good job. And look at all of the space that UC Davis has. They want to fight them all the way over here.
There it is. A grab already committed as well. A bunch of people caught in it. Molten Core has to be committed by Insidious to try to just take space and survive this onslaught. Now UC Davis is starting to fall a little bit, but the points rolling forward, and they're going to be really happy with that push.
Absolutely. I mean, UC Davis Blue, a little bit of an overextension. I think that they might have been able to take a little bit more space with that, potentially making it over into close to the loon. Yeah, just because, you know what, they went really far and then immediately had to back off of it. And also, too, they only left one member on the cart to continue pushing it forwards. So, a little bit of overextension, and that's going to be tough now because Demon Breed, he's that high ground Reinhardt that you love seeing. He's also got his Shatter, so I'm hoping that he hops off the air, does a 180, and then slams down on UC Davis here. But Freaky Frog is going to try and contest them as we got a battle on Elden Bridge.
No. That was a big immortality field coming through from Virus, but Insidious doesn't care. They continue to push forward. Sound Barrier comes through and Speedweed keeps everyone topped off so they can finish off the last members of UC Davis.
Look at that. Insidious just looking like a class act. You can tell that UC Davis Blue, some of them were like, actually, I'm good down here. Especially when that team fight popped off and they lost their Reinhardt and they just abandoned ship off of the little bridge there in the middle there, falling down. But unfortunately, that also just made it so that the team was down numbers. And once again, these rush style compositions, you got to play together, otherwise it's going to be a bad time. So they're going to be trying to recontest up here as, once again, we have a little bit of a duel on this bridge.
Yeah, this time though, no Diva Bomb to force UC Davis to turn around and will pretty much make themselves vulnerable.
Oh
There's
no!
There's to use the Matrix. Oh no! Speed boost, but it's a speed boost straight into a fire strike. Axelon tried to get them to bypass it, but they couldn't.
All right, so hey, UC Davis Blue, maybe don't play Sea of Thieves because you're gonna be, if you ever have to walk the plank, it doesn't look like it's gonna be good, especially too if Insidious is the team that is steering the ship there. Whoa, that was brutal. I don't know what other way to say that. Like, a fire strike through the amplification matrix, just killing two people as they charge forwards. You hate to see it, but you love to see it if you're Insidious. That's Flat Connor with a pick onto the Virus as the Earth Shatter comes down and finds foe. That's absolutely
wow. Yeah, that ended it right there. I mean, they already had the advantage, and that sealed the deal. I mean, Demon Breed has got to be riding high after literally having everyone form a single file line for him to fire strike.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that too, like, look at Insidious. Right now they're set up. They've learned from the Sith Lord himself. They understand the power of the high ground, and they're utilizing it extremely well. But UC Davis Blue, they have ultimates online, so that could be used in their benefit here. Let's see how this engagement goes, as they could be being like Batman and dropping down from the high ground.
Oh, a good stun comes through, and it followed up with the Death Blossom. Immortality field is there, and Axelon's Sound Barrier lets him get the value right onto Speedweed. The stun in the back, he does get a little reprieve, but it's not going to be enough. UC Davis continuing to push forward here, but Demon Breed needs to be shut down. He's all alone now, but he has been on fire. Speedweed is back regrouped with him, and the real question is, are they going to be able to hold this payload just at the last moment?
I would imagine they would be thinking about it. You see Demon Breed go out for it. Okay, but if they have that come in here, it might not be enough. Oh, they are. Oh, they just get there a little bit too late. We saw Argentine try and Wraith form in there, but unfortunately, this fight's going to be going, and you hate to see that because right now, this looks like Insidious are going to be coming out the victors of this team fight.
Yeah, and UC Davis doesn't care. They're going to try to get Insidious to use their ultimates if possible, but they're looking to regroup. They got enough time, and, well, now they have the spawn advantage.
Monterey just cleaning up the rest of them here, and now we see Freaky Frog just going in, trying to get his team a little bit more charged, but Blue Fire getting really aggressive. They're able to take out Fat Connor now as this engagement continues to march forwards.
UC Davis trying to push forward, but they're going to have to be wary. Diva Bomb finds just the immortality field. Now it's the Ant Matrix popped, and Speedweed. Both supports are so bloodthirsty on top of that, Mark.
You know, both supports there for Insidious were like, hey, Fat Connor Argentine, we like what you guys are doing, and we had a little bit of a spin on it. Do you mind if we just, okay, thanks, and just get a couple of kills themselves, pull it out, showing DPS support can also be a little bit of a DPS sometimes. And right now, a lot of ultimates coming online for Insidious, so they should be able to hold this one pretty strong as Freaky Frog now swaps back over to the Reinhardt to match Demon Breed, potentially shut down that Shatter.
Demon Breed was on fire. He gets stunned and just shredded right there. Great
Uh-oh.
communication coming through from Monterey, but the Death Blossom is going to be hard to retaliate against. UC Davis is down a couple people, and Fat Connor's high noon from the high ground only finds Virus and does get taken down himself. UC Davis is aggressing forward. They don't have a lot of time left on the clock, Marks.
Yeah, but they are getting pretty close here as we see them make it to the final part of this third point. Demon Breed now back into this battle as he's ready to brawl. So is his team. A lot of ultimates online for UC Davis though, and they get a pick without even using any of them.
Oh, there's the Ant Matrix, and Freaky Frog goes to confront him. The shatter stops everyone in their tracks, which is probably great. They were going to get shredded. Death Blossom comes through, finding Speedweed, and there's so much damage out from UC Davis. They've taken down everyone from Insidious, and now Marks, the stun game comes through. They're going to try to trickle back on, and that's going to be it. Payload pushed all the way here for UC Davis, and a very nice offense coming out.
Yeah, it seems like whenever UC Davis Blue get the ball rolling, then they can just roll forwards with it. That was a pretty good shatter coming out from Demon Breed, but at that point, it was just too much. It had too much inertia. And the thing about inertia, not really a force. My grade 10 physics teacher taught me that. But when it moves, and if you get in its way, it's gonna hurt when it hits you in the face. So, baseball actually taught me that one when I was a kid. But I digress here.
And Juggernaut.
Yep, that is true. And so, what do you call it? Demon Breed was able to use the shatter to really stun the team, slow down the momentum. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. There were way too many ultimates for UC Davis Blue online at that point. And what can you do? Press Q to win. Sometimes that's how it goes. We're going to be seeing what these teams are going to be busting out now that they are going to be swapping sides. Honestly, UC Davis Blue, they didn't look too bad on that rush style composition going up against Insidious's rush. Compared to the last maps where it was very clear that Insidious was like, yo, we in our groove now. Didn't seem like that was as much the case, which I think is honestly a really good thing. That's kind of what you're looking for if you are UC Davis here, because you want to make Insidious feel a little bit more uncomfortable and capitalize on it, which is exactly what they did here.
Yeah. Oh man, and UC Davis right now is teasing us with a Bastion.
No.
Yeah. So it looks like we might get a bit of a Bastion strat coming through. Yeah, clock's counting down. I'm not one to always commit, but looks like we are here on the Bastion.
This is going to be tough, but the good thing is Insidious is really close to the spawn. Right now, they do have Dream Psychotic, as well as Fat Connor. That could be good to shut things down, but Monterey on that Symmetra is going to make that extremely difficult for the Flyers here. As we see Argentine fall down, but Virus is down right now, shutting down a lot of the healing as they start to move on to the point.
Argentine just had, an initial move off the high ground, and the follow-up from Dream Psychotic onto Axelon. That's going to be a massive hook. A lot of heals off the board, and Insidious just stomped this opening fight.
Wow. You don't see that happen very often, where both a Symmetra and a Bastion come out and both get annihilated, especially two with an Orisa. Those are the two defensive heroes, especially two when you're holding a point here. But it looks like too much pressure coming in from both Fat Connor and Argentine. I guess they weren't ready for the dual air damage DPS players here. So right now,
Argentine's initial boot off the high ground knocked everyone from UC Davis off. Nice bunker. Gone.
Yep. Nice bunker. Would be a shame if you were out of it, as he poops everybody off the top there. And now we see a couple of swaps coming in here. Now we've got Monterey on the McCree as well as Blue Fire on the Echo. Trying to match things up just a little bit more. But Argentine opening this up with a barrage. What can you do?
Argentine, all in the kill feed, continuously pocketed once again, this time by Speedweed instead of Short Stack. And, some of that alliteration is a little tough for me.
That's it. Alliteration sells products.
Speedweed and Short Stacked. Whew, man, changing them up. But, Speedweed here has been doing just as phenomenal as Short Stacked was. And, well, I'm sure Argentine is continuing to be thankful of those benefits.
Absolutely. And look at this. If they're able to cap this point right here, right now, look at that time bank. 5 minutes and 51 seconds. Even as Yuri falls down, that doesn't look like it's too big of a deal because they've got so many things to just dislocate people. And in a minefield, that is absolutely deadly. Now, this is just going to be Insidious cleaning up the rest of UC Davis Blue as they run away. But massive time bank. Oh, man, Insidious, they just look so good on this very quick burst damage composition.
Yeah, usually I call it displacing people, but Insidious is totally dislocating people straight out off the side.
Yeah, speaking of
Another big
dislocation,
pick.
Argentina finding blue fire. This is not looking good. Even with respawner's advantage, that's going to be extremely difficult for UC Davis to stabilize here. A lot of ultimates online for Insidious as they make this final push.
Argentina is just firing rockets into the spawn opening. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. Put the damage in, make it tough to walk out the door. Big Anti comes through. Dream Psychotic is low. He can't heal up because of the Anti from Virus opening up that fight. And that has turned the table. It's given them a lot of traction, but Argentina, taken down by that Pharah. He could have had that chance to take him down, but looks like Blue Fire wanted to take a stab at their own Pharah.
I mean, we did see blue fire on the Pharah last time, so you know he's a little bit more comfortable on that as well. But excellent hold by UC Davis Blue. Only one ultimate though committed by Insidious, as they're also getting those mines online again. So again, still an uphill battle here, as a nano boost is going to be online for Virus. So that could be something, but they're going to need an answer quick.
Argentina punched out of this fight very early on. Hook comes through from across the way, but Kaki's coming up big with his own Roadhog plays. He's manages to catch his opponent Dream Psychotic, but you know, some of the never mind. Brought back into the thick of UC Davis and shredded.
Yeah, there's not much you can do there. It seems like Dream Psychotic decided to disengage and then re-engage, and unfortunately was punished by Kaki's. Getting him with the hook, sunning him out of the heals, making sure that that kill was secured. You know, I talked about that ultimate advantage, but right now, UC Davis Blue, they've been holding them off enough where they're starting to get a couple of their ultimates online. The nano boost has still not been committed here. And here it comes.
Trans committed as well, but Demon Breed has to use the res.
Argentina?
Argentina with another double kill barrage. Not surprising coming through. He's been so consistent with that. The whole hog is committed. Dream Psychotic, good thing he gets topped off. He was antied, and now no one from UC Davis is in sight. The last bit of stall is trying to be attempted here by Kakis, and the Flux doesn't keep him off. He can't touch the point himself, and oh, the woes of flying ultimates.
You know, listen, I get it. When you sing out, you're like, it's time to go up in the air, catch me up here, all this altitude, it's a good time. But unfortunately, that's not what you want to see, especially too when the point is so close. I unfortunately wasn't able to see whether or not he was just outside of the range, or if he just decided to go vertical to try and avoid damage, which ultimately resulted in not being able to touch it anymore. But still, yeah. Insidious, once again, looking so dominant on that kind of split up and kill composition. Does anyone have a patent on that name? I think I might want to patent that name for Insidious here. Split up and kill.
Split up and kill. I think what you typically hear is divide and conquer.
Yeah, listen, that's that old boomer talk thing. We've got to freshen it up for the new generation.
I mean, I'm gonna say that to my team. All right, so here's the plan. We're gonna split up and then we're gonna kill.
There we go. Yeah. With that motivation too. I think that's perfect.
Oh, but you know that tactic didn't exactly work out for UC Davis, and it wasn't until they were really forced to stay grouped up, I think, in some of these more, you know, some of the ending spawn areas, or right after they capped that second checkpoint, right? There's not a ton of different areas to loop around like it is for the streets phase, which they still decided to go down one alleyway of the bridge.
You know, like that bridge must inspire nightmares if you're UC Davis, honestly.
I don't try to cross that bridge unless I'm a tank, really. You know, I get picked off, you get peppered off, you get booped off, and then you get peppered down. Whatever you want.
I think UC Davis are going to be burning the bridge with the bridge after this scrim, that's for sure. But we are going to be loading into Volskaya Industries and now, as we're going to be seeing Insidious starting us out on defense, once again, running the rush composition with Fat Connor on the Torb and Argenty on the Mei. You know, we talked once again. It's tough out there when you're lonely and separated from the rest of your friends. It could be a bad time. Argenty really needs to get those walls, though. That's really what's going to make this comp work.
And we'll have to see if he can actually split anyone off. It is a little bit tougher here as they've already pushed through the choke. Engage comes through from Kaki's in the background, and there's the follow-up from Tracer. Dream Psychotic punishes him though. He did not have enough backup and was not able to escape in time. Now UC Davis is going to try to push onto this point, man down. Freaky Frog falls from the high ground, and that's going to seal the deal for Insidious.
Yeah, you can see he wanted to get a little freaky in there, but unfortunately it wasn't enough sauce for him to make it happen. We do see Monterey, though, still on this deep flank, really separated from the team. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but potentially could act as a distraction, especially if Kakis can get into position. We saw how powerful that Wrecking Ball Tracer can work in the hands of Insidious, and now you see Davis Blue, they want to give it a shot as well. So let's see how this plays out here, but it looks like that Insidious are actually going to be setting up on this high ground here as they're, oh, that's a big opening pick onto Virus, the main support down for UC Davis.
They don't care. They just went ahead and continued to engage here in the side room, straight into the Molten Core. There's nowhere to run after that, and Blue Fire has to use their flight ability to get out of the way just in time. There's a little bit of pressure here on the point, but it's going to be really tough for them. And once again, UC Davis needs to regroup.
Yeah, it seems like it. The fire definitely wasn't burning on the dance floor, but it was burning on the floor of Volskaya Industries. That was an excellent play by Fat Connor, especially too in some of that small room. The Molten Core really added in a lot of damage, which just absolutely stopped the momentum of UC Davis Blue there. They do have a couple of ultimates coming online, UC Davis, but that's going to be tough. They're pushing into a Blizzard, a Self-Destruct, and an Amplification Matrix. You know, you take down some shields, you throw out the self-destruct and freeze people up, and it's not going to be great. So they have to be really careful about their engagement here.
Well, and Insidious tried to run this comp here initially on our last map, and we're stomped on it. So it seems like this is something they're trying to work on, and you can see they're making progress on how to defend with these characters, and you know, with people like Fat Connor on the Torb, and you know, having more of like that constant off-angle damage instead of such an in-your-face type of fighting style like, you know, some of the Reaper we saw earlier.
Yeah, unless it's a Torb up in your face with the hammer. That's happened to me a couple times, you know, don't want to talk about it, but unfortunately, the turret is really punishing for UC Davis Blue, especially to trying to play these flanks so often, but they've got a lot of ultimates online, and we gotta see them use some of them here. They've been holding on to them for such a long time, and this could honestly like win the fight for them right here. As the duplicate comes out.
It's ults galore for UC Davis, but they gotta live long enough to use them. Big block comes out from Blue Fire on the duplicated Reinhardt of their own. They're continuing to slaughter forward and just cleave through Insidious. They all needed to press Q to win this fight, and Marks, they sure did.
Shout out to UC Davis Blue. I'm glad that they're also tuning in for a cast of the scrim, because that is exactly what we wanted to see from them. And it worked out perfectly. We are master strategic Overwatch players, Sid. I'm calling that right now. Just kidding. Once again, though, a great push forwards there. We did see a couple of switches come out, though, so we're going to see Kakis falling back onto the Wrecking Ball here, and Freaky Frog is going over to the Reinhardt. So a little bit of an unconventional composition. Okay, there we go. Now we see the Zarya Ryan. That's more like it. It's going to be Rush v. a Rush. Love to see it. Love to see some rocket hammers swinging into each other Reinhardt's faces. It's kind of like a big old brawl. But they still have that nano boost online and a rally, which really could help that, team momentum with moving forward too. So once again, first they got to make their way on the point, and then the support ultimates might make this a winnable situation for UC Davis Blue.
Yeah, we have two different types of major shield break between Blue Fire and Fat Connor's turret here. UC Davis is going to look to engage, but They managed to take down that turret, so that pepper damage from the cross angle not going to be a threat. Oh, Freaky Frog gets pinned after he's been nanoed. Demon Breed should have been dead, but that immortality build was absolutely clutch coming through. He was not only low, he was antied on top of it, and now the rest of Insidious just pushed forward and cleaved through UC Davis.
Yeah, that one was a little bit too rough, and I can't tell whether or not it's because UC Davis wanted to make the switch, and so they just invested both of their support ultimates there. But I think if they spaced it out a little bit more, it would have gone okay. We saw them engage with the rally, but at that point, it kind of wasn't necessary. You know, get your team on point. Use the rally to give them that armor boost while you're healing everybody up at an accelerated rate. And then once the rally's over, then use the nano boost to bring somebody back from almost dying there. But they just popped it way too early, which just allowed Insidious to just be like, you know what, we're just going to wait this one out. And that's exactly what they did. So now, what do you call it, Insidious, they've got the ultimate advantage, and this is going to be a little bit tough to engage here, especially with a big shatter like that.
There it is! We've seen them try to do this in the past, and their timing was a split second off, but not that time, Marks. The flashbang shatter combo was there, and the follow-up was there too, to continue pushing UC Davis back. Really nice job. I mean, clear growth coming out from Insidious.
And if there's anything that we like, it is personal growth. And also team comp growth. Let's talk about that one as well. But this is looking pretty good for Insidious now, because UC Davis, they've only got 30 seconds left. They do have the Dragon. They do have the Deadeye here. But they're going to be met with a Deadeye and potentially an Amplification Matrix, which could be really dangerous to push into. So here comes the aggressive engage from UC Davis.
Oh, Virus taken down early, Mark. That's going to be devastating. And kills everywhere. Extreme Psychotic Self-Destruct. That's going to take the cake and put Insidious in this fight. Demon Breed gets caught in that grab, but no one's left from UC Davis. The clock's going to tick down, and, you know, a little bit of a lackluster ending there, but wow, that Diva Bomb just swept the board.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we talked about the fear of bridges, you know, after that last map, but I think after this one, they're gonna be dreaming of Diva Bombs exploding. Did I say dream? I actually meant imagined nightmares, because Dream Psychotic has been absolutely nuts with these self-destructs, timing them so well. And once again, UC Davis, they gotta do a better job of checking the Diva Bombs.
Oh, that's his name. They're Psychotic Dreams, nightmares.
Oh,
maybe,
boy.
Maybe
okay.
not.
You know, it's okay. We're here. We're in this together. We talked about personal growth, so it's totally fine.
Personal growth for everybody all around.
We're all learning today. We can add educational to the stream title now. Okay, so now we're going to be seeing what UC Davis Blue want to be busting out on this defense. Looks like they're going unconventional once again, as we are going to be potentially seeing a Roadhog Sigma composition with a dual snipers coming in. So at this point, what you want to do with that is really just spread out and then either pocket your Ashe or your Hanzo to try and get as much value as possible. Especially too, if they do come in with some of the shields, then you should be able to burst that one down. But once again, that's pretty tough because they don't have the tanks to peel back for them, right, Sid?
Right. And you talk about how, you know, that means they're damage boosting the Ashe and the Hanzo, and once again, putting a lot of pressure on individual performance of those DPS.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was when UC Davis did not play their strongest, in my opinion. Obviously, these are scrims. It might be time to put those guys on the spot, okay? And, you know, sometimes you have different days where different roles get worked harder, all right? If you've ever been a goalie in a sport, you know some days are easy peasy, and then sometimes you're the focus of training day, and you know, you're in your own little personal hell. And that might be what's all the pressure on DPS right now. You get the kills.
Sid, do you want to talk after this? Are you doing okay over there?
Hey, I'm no goalie, so I just
okay, we're
watch
good
their
then. I'm just
suffering.
making sure. Okay, cool. You were the one dunking hard on the goalies.
Hey, they're a whole different breed of people that like to be hit in the face, and you know, I'm a flincher. Oh, and I would have flinched back after that hook. Cactus just looped him in. Demon Breed in the middle of UC Davis managed to get out of the way in the nick of time. Now Monterey gets another kill, and the DPS are performing, Marks. Just like you said they need to. Damage boost in tow and kill feed. Very, very ready.
Yes. Yes, yes. Monterey loves getting slapped in the face, apparently, or actually enjoys putting bullets into other people's faces, because what a showing there. And I think that kind of worked out in how they split up their composition, because, you know, once again, these players are playing a little bit more isolated. And if you're playing the dive composition, you're just like, all right, let's just go for that Hanzo over there. Uh-oh, we picked it wrong. Turns out that there's actually an Ashe peppering bullets into us, and there's nothing we can do. So now we are seeing the changes coming out from Insidious here. As T falls down again, it's not going to be good. But Demon Breed on this wrecking ball could be good. He's clearly comfortable on it.
Not sure where Argentine's translocator was for that engagement, but once again, we have our divide and kill strategy coming up.
Patent pending.
Trying to see what they can bring to the table. Now both healers are on the far side, pocketing the tank as they're trying to engage. Monterey's left alone on the high ground though. Has to use that coach gun to escape, and the team completely there to reinforce him. And once again, he's popping off. I don't think he was warmed up in our first match, Mark. Ooh! Gets flipped by it. Wasn't stuck, but just in the perimeter, close enough to get taken out. Now Demon Breed trying to do his best to stall out the point. They haven't taken one pick yet, and UC Davis is going to hold strong.
Yeah, and I think that this kind of works to UC Davis's strategy here. You know, they can play spread out. They can take those 1v1s, and it's going to work out fine because of all of their hero compositions. Maybe minus Virus there. But the way that, what do you call it, Insidious wants to play this, they want to be at least taking that 2v1 engagement. You know, really burst down somebody quick without this being a super long, dragged-out battle. Fat Connor opening it up on Virus is an excellent way to do so, but Blue Fire punishes him immediately as Demon Breed rolls off here. So trade's going back and forth, but a lot of ultimates now online for UC Davis Blue, as it seems like they may have figured out the key to stopping Insidious's composition here.
Yeah, Demon Breed went to join the Polar Bear Club, which are the people who, you know, jump in the freezing cold waters for whichever event and or charity. So I'm curious as to why he jumped off. They are trying to engage on that side, but the EMP only catches 2 marks. Self-destruct is thrown, and, well, a little bit of zoning occurs. Bob on the point is going to be so nasty to push into, and Insidious can't get any traction.
No, they really can't, especially too with an ultimate online to really punish Yuri out of the air there. Yuri barely able to keep himself alive, but does fall down. And once again, this is looking like an absolutely solid hold for UC Davis. We need to see Insidious be a little bit more coordinated on their attack here if they want to find any picks. And on top of that too, they have to be really fast to either get out of the way or pick their next target as soon as they get that first kill on the board. We're seeing 20 seconds left. Let's see this engagement.
Engagement coming through from the tanks on the high ground with the DPS there on the side. Fat Connor's already taken out of the picture, but Axelon is gone. One of the 2 healers from UCD is going to put a lot of heals off the table, and that ante marks the follow-up there to capitalize on no heals available for them was absolutely massive coming through from Insidious. And well, we pretty much are having a very similar feel to what we had in our first round of this map, where at the last fight, they've come back, flipped it, and cleared the remainder of the enemy off.
Oh my god, Insidious almost C9'd that one. They were very close to, but thankfully somebody came back to touch the point there. I got a little worried for a second, but it's all good in the hood. So now, this is looking like they're going to be swapping over to playing their more classic dive composition. We see Fat Connor on the Genji, as well as Demon Breed flipping over to the Winston here. Once again, though, it looks like UC Davis are pretty comfortable on their composition. To be fair, it was working out extremely well. Meanwhile, Argentine, he's just hanging out on site right now.
You know, it didn't work as well in some of the earlier rounds, but this time it has really turned around. I expressed some doubt at the beginning, and I'm definitely eating my words on that front, because UC Davis has been popping off. The Valkyrie committed, 2 people clipped by the opposing EMP, but Argentine has to pay for it with his alive, and I don't think that's going to be enough. Dream Psychotic uses the self-destruct, but probably should have saved it.
Agreed. You know, you could tell that Insidious felt like they could win there, but unfortunately the EMP was just a second too late because the Bob got committed on point by Monterey, and if that was caught in the EMP, maybe that would have been winnable, but as soon as you have a Bob peppering damage while you're dealing with their front line, it's not going to go well. And that's exactly what happened, as now they have to reset here, committing a couple of ultimates, but they did draw a couple out from UC Davis Blue.
We'll have to see if Freaky Frog is a super freak with his gravitic flux. Has to touch a lot of people in it, and well, if it can be an opening opportunity, there it is. Going ahead and pick up the 2 tanks. A lot of damage gets pumped into him, and Demon Priest is taken down. That's a big hit coming through, and a couple more people coming through, but this time UC Davis, and they're continuing to fall. The Nano's committed onto Dream Psychotic, and now 1 tap has been ticked in favor of Insidious. The res is attempted and left midway through. Denied right there. Blue Fire's gonna try to get back. Respawn damage is in favor of UC Davis, and the Doofus could not handle just diving straight into the middle of Insidious right there. Argentine big, and there it is. UC or Insidious once again just coming in hot and coming in strong.
Absolutely. When it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and well, Argentine was just like, nah, actually it is. And just straight up, what can't this guy do? I mean, we've seen Argentine absolutely dominate on the Pharah, and now we're seeing him dominate on Ashe. So let's add projectiles, and let's also add hit scan to the list of viable heroes that he can play on DPS. If he's on Tracer too, then you know what? I think he can do it all. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sid, but I'm pretty sure he also played Tracer during this game too, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, okay. He's unstoppable. That's great. You know, must feel nice, Insidious, having an unstoppable DPS player on your backline there. But still, once again,
Argentine has been always with a support.
Yes,
so,
that is true.
You know, I mean, I'm a support player, so of course I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Don't forget the supports.
Remember that time you thought you were gonna die? Over
and I was there.
And over and over again, and every time I'm like, you're fine.
And then remember when you said
today when you were like, and I'm
I
like,
need
you're
healing.
Fine.
Yeah, no, that actually did happen. I was like, I am very close to death and I am scared, and you're like, you're all right. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Sid.
I was already healing you before that.
Otherwise
you would be dead.
You know, that is also true. Sometimes you do forget about that.
I mean, as I'm sure the supports in these games know, when people are like, I need healing, and you're like, yeah, I saw that before you were critical, and if I hadn't already been healing you before you said I need healing, you'd be gone. So I'm already aware that you need healing. Not that they all know that internal monologue, but
yes, of course.
You know, oh, man, are we really gonna see Argentine and short stacked on the pharmacy again?
Possible. It definitely worked. I don't know if this is the best spot for it. There definitely is a little bit of boot potential here, but you know, it was pretty unstoppable last time. All I gotta say is they looked really good on that Pharah Mercy combination there, and really, UC Davis Blue, they didn't even have an answer for it at all. Like, nothing. And if they can just get free reign again, then, you know, why not go for it? It looks like we are taking a little bit more time this time to load into the map, as the teams are probably strategizing just a little bit more, trying to see what they can kind of bust out here. You know, what do they want to really bring out? Because once again, these are the scrims, and so this is the time where you just kind of get used to, like, what could work, what might not work, all of that type of stuff here. So, you know, they could be just trying some new stuff out.
And we know in ranked games, normal on ladder, like trying to work on strategies and you know, executing X, Y, and Z is not nearly the same ease of experience as it is with your team in this setting here, and quite frankly, against opponents who are trying to do the same thing. It's very shocking when you first jump into a team scene and you're like, oh, there's so much more coordination than I've ever anticipated. And, you know, so you guys here already engaging in the side room. Of course, the most early engagements coming from Cassie here and Demon Breed on the Hammond, just rolling out nutty fast. And oh, the pick from our Argentine straight onto Virus. He was so far away across the long haul and just gets knocked off. Once again, Argentine is slaughtering with pharmacy pocket.
Yeah, look at that. Unfortunately, Blue Fire is able to get a little bit of value, but compared to the output that Argentine is getting, it's not enough. You know, Blue Fire is getting really close to that Death Blossom, which could be pretty dangerous here. But once again, if Argentine takes him out, he's gonna be even closer to that barrage. And we've seen the Argentine barrages, and they're dangerous.
I mean, it's like minimum 2K every time. And it is tougher to push out of these specific chokes when there is a Pharah on the board, right? There's a lot of this higher ground that you have to step very far into their path of fire before you can actually get a good enough angle to shoot them. And it's gonna be tough for UC Davis to push through.
Argentine busting out the the somber stats as he just hangs out at the back line, and that's like you said, 2K with that barrage. That's gonna seal the deal here. They are fighting back though. UC Davis want to contest this team fight, but it looks like it's probably gonna be lost.
Yeah, the pulse bomb was good, killing Yuri off, and it's gonna give UC Davis a little bit of an opportunity to try to put some extra pepper in, but with Insidious running both the Ana and the Mercy, there's heals galore for them.
Yeah. What do you do at that point? We are going to be seeing him pulse bomb actually take out that corner. That's not what you want to see there. But you know what? It does happen here. And now we are going to be seeing Demon Breed. Oh, he gets taken out by freaking Frog. This is an excellent hook.
Absolutely hooked from all the way downtown, all the way across that entire stretch. Grabbed him. I love that. Get over here.
Scorpion, that you? Scorpion?
Oh man. I love Mortal Kombat. I should play that game again. But yeah, that is exactly what happens. Just grappling them too close straight into your death. A couple of changes back and forth, but Freaky Frog has gone down, and oh, Blue Fire is here to follow up and avenge him. He pays for that Death Blossom with his life, but the damage has been done. UC Davis continuing to defend the point strong.
UC Davis right now, they just want to stall this out, because since they've got control of it, they want to just make sure that they can hold on as long as possible. And Blue Fire using that, trading his life, I think that's worth it, in my opinion, to really just slow down the momentum from Insidious. But speaking of slowing momentum, they're going to be getting 3 picks there to slow down UC Davis's momentum, as it looks like without a full team fight happening, they're going to be flipping the point.
And none too late here for themselves either. Mark's definitely super tough as well. Has so many ultimates online. I don't know how UC Davis is going to be able to push into this.
I don't know either, and especially too if you're losing Freaky Frog up at the front like that, it's gonna make this even harder because we're getting really close to last fight territory. But here we go, duplicates, double wrecking balls, let's go.
Yeah, and that means minefields are going to be online soon, coming out from Argentina, and potentially just zone UC Davis from being able to touch the point. They do manage to get on there, but of course it's Khakis rolling their heart out and committing their own minefield as well. They try to keep it up, and oh, Argentina falls down into the depths. Didn't have anything to fly up higher and just had to glide and coast his heart. Freaky Frog got a good last hook, but little too late.
Listen, I play a lot of Roadhog, and you max hook that, you know, we love to see those hooks just coming out and being like, haha, we won the point, but I won the mental war, the hog war, one might argue.
There's always that personal battle you have with people sometimes. A lot of times in video games it's, oh, you're on the same character I'm on. And in other traditional sports, it's like, oh yeah, remember when you gave me that extra elbow I didn't need?
Oh, we're gonna be keeping that one. Well, once again, man, even after that big team fight to reclaim the point from Insidious, there wasn't even a good team fight after that. It was honestly just trickles in with Insidious tickling the trickles. I don't know if that's necessarily the appropriate way to say that, but they were like, hey, you got one person coming out here, we're just gonna dive on him, take him out of the fight beforehand. Oh, someone else was coming to help him out. Okay, now it's your turn. and then the next
Oh,
person, and
we're not ready
it
to
was
dive.
conveyor
We'll
belt.
just hook you instead.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, they're
La, la, la.
when are they going to be on MasterChef is my question, because it seems like that they're doing excellent meal prep as well as chopping the heads off the fish pretty perfectly, if I do say so myself. But you know, UC Davis Blue, we talk about coordination. We need to see just a little bit more coordination coming out from them. Whether or not it's like, hey, don't walk forwards too much. Let's group up. Let's go as a team. You know, make sure that we don't get picked off before, because otherwise this is just not even a competition right now.
Yeah, and UC Davis, they've had some really great moments, but the consistency isn't quite there. And of course, you know, that's what really is going to make or break a team's success, is the ability to consistently perform at high levels. And, well, UC Davis got on this point so fast. Not surprising considering the Symmetra-Lucio combination coming through. And, well, they're continuing to aggress forward marks. I like how they're taking the side angle here, giving a little bit of space, and Freaky Frog bites off more than he can chew, does get taken down in the end, and now Insidious is going to be man up as they push forward in response. Khakis gets demacked, and that's going to be a lot of damage, able to just fly on through, and there it is. Insidious is going to clear out and take the point.
That was honestly a little rough. You know, you complimented UC Davis's aggression there, but I think that it was ultimately their downfall, especially too with playing with heroes such as Symmetra and May. Yes, you do want Freaky Frog and Khakis to get you space, but just enough space so that you can set up all of your stuff on point. And you can see that Monterey was trying to get everything set up on point, but then realized that the team was engaging outside of point, and then immediately swapped over to go help out the team, but it was just a little bit too late as we saw Freaky Frog just get rolled over there. So a little bit of an overextension, and that's a huge EMP. That's a 6-man. You've got to be kidding me.
Everybody caught in the EMP. Marks after that, it is cleanup for Insidious. All you gotta do is walk forward and press those abilities.
Yeah, that, you know, that would do it. Argentine also good on Sombra. Should I start a checklist here, Sid? Because it's kind of seeming like we need a list of, actually it'd probably be easier if we said heroes Argentine not good at, because that would be a lot shorter.
And you know, it's always nice when that's the easier alternative, right? You're like, oh yeah, it's shorter. UC Davis, though, they're gonna have the Blizzard online, and with the Blizzard, you know, that's a big zoning opportunity. They're gonna have so many ultimates online, whichever they fancy to use with first, really.
I imagine it will be Virus's Amplification Matrix. Punishing Demon Breed is a great start here. Just allow them to move forwards here, but that's gonna be a grab and response.
I love the grab with the Blizzard as well. No one can quite escape, and, well, they weren't worried. The Pulse Bomb eaten by Khaki! I don't know, hope it's gonna be worth it, because the UC comes through, catching a few people from UC Davis here. Now, they're trying to push forward, and the Shatter catches Demon Breed right there. He's in the thick of his own minds and safe from any follow-up charge that could have come through. Only the Fire Strike was able to roll through and add that additional chip damage, and now Insidious continuing to repel UC Davis. They've done a good job. They've been able to mitigate and handle the damage. Oh, that punch coming through from Blue Fire almost took out Dream Psychotic, but he dodged it at that last moment. Now we are here in overtime marks. We've already got 99% for Insidious, and UC Davis is trying to do what they can to trickle on the point. Now it's just the Hammond left. He's been taken out. The OT bar is still here. Fire is doing their best, and now it's going to trickle down, and it's going to be a cap for Insidious.
Insidious once again just looking absolutely dominant. Argentine just popping the EMP on the end there for some style points. You know, they had the Symmetra, they had the May, and I don't think that necessarily fit into the composition too well. You know, when we talk about having a rush style composition, Symmetra can be good to burn down shields, but with how Insidious were playing, you're not going to get as much value out of it. And May, it's so important to isolate, you know, really isolate people and get them nice and lonely so you can take them out as soon as possible. And we just didn't see that happening too much. No. Unfortunately, the DPS weren't getting as much value as they were able to, just because it seemed like UC Davis Blue wanted to play all over the place. And Insidious, they're coordinated. They're very coordinated, and they're ready to brawl. Once again, just looking absolutely stellar. The level of coordination coming out there, it's just good to watch, honestly. This is great Overwatch to cast.
and I gotta say, I've been coming back to Killshot here for about a little bit over a month now, and it's our second round personally together.
Oh.
I've definitely seen Insidious grow and continue to really improve their synergy and teamwork, and not just on like the big, oh, here's the Zarya and the or the dragon grab combo that we see come through. It's more of the small things that they bring to the gameplay, and like the flashbang with the shatter timing. That's
Yeah,
not an easy
you love to
timing.
see that.
Yeah. And I've already seen them blow it in previous scrims before, and it's part of the learning curve, right? You're too slow to pull the trigger, you're too fast to pull the trigger. Welcome to learning.
Learning sucks, Sid. This is why I stopped taking school. But at the same time, I also did do a master's degree, so I guess I love school. So maybe not. I take back my words here, but Monterey immediately punishing Fat Connor. That's a great way to start this out if you're UC Davis.
UC Davis, having to back. Look at how much space they've already given. Look at how much space they've already taken from Insidious. Insidious had to back up to their own choke point there, and with Argentine on this Pharah, I don't know if UC Davis can be able to handle it. Yuri is taken down early, and, well, Insidious can't get any traction. Looks great for UC Davis coming through as they polish him off.
All right, see, this is why it works. When you just decide to ignore the Pharah, it works if you just roll over the team here, right? They're not playing the bunker composition anymore. We see UC Davis committing to a full dive and just really upping their mobility, having that Tracer, having that Reaper, as well as that Lucio, to really reposition yourself and minimize the amount of damage Argentine can get. But Argentine has that barrage online, very dangerous. It comes in, it's going to find Virus, which is going to disable a lot of healing.
Bomb doesn't find anything either coming through from Monterey, but Monterey goes ahead, finds Yuri in the thick of it all, and opening up the fight with a win in his own Tracer duel definitely gave him a big advantage.
So definitely a little bit of a morale boost, being like, woohoo, we might just be a little bit better. And that's what you want to hear, especially too after how these scrims have been going. These still are scrims, but it can't feel great for UC Davis. They haven't really won a single map here, and it's been not great overall for them. So getting a little bit more momentum is definitely the way that you want to start this out here, as we see. Now, Insidious, they're on the full rush.
Yeah, and well, high ground is what their choice is here for engagement. They continue to move around and get ready to stage their fight. The Immortality field is already committed early, and the Coalescence is coming out fire.
Oh.
A bit of pressure on.
No.
That was a big pin, Mark. Demon Breed's gonna turn the tide, but Axelon's sound barrier is going to be huge. The wall a little bit missed there. Isaac was taken down so quick with that raging wind coming through. UC Davis holding strong as now the point's in OT, and this is completely opposite of what we saw in our previous round, 99-0, but now Davis is holding strong, handling the trickling, coming through. What a dodge of the self-destruct. Everybody able to kite out in time, and now the Death Blossom is going to seal the deal with UC Davis going ahead and taking this last map, Mark.
Yeah, I think we know which composition UC Davis Blue might be very comfortable on, and that might be, a little bit more comfortable for just their players, honestly, to play that dive composition. It looked so good. That Winston Tracer combination was fantastic from Freaky Frog and Monterey. We didn't really see them play those heroes necessarily. It looked like they were trying out some stuff with Blue Fire, but you could just tell right here, they were like, okay, let's bring out the A game. It's been a little bit rough here, so let's just step this up a little bit more. And they looked really good there. So hats off to UC Davis Blue, really turning this around and helping us out here, as we're going to be going to Oasis now, so another control map. Hey, this is a good time to bust out the Pharah if you want to bring out a Pharah. But usually we see either the dive or the double bubble, things like that on this particular map first.
Yeah, well, look at all the high ground there is too. You've got the jump pad to even help anyone else who can't quite make it up there as fast, and the ability to dance around damage-wise. is so valuable on this map. You can fall back on the high ground far enough to avoid damage and get topped off. And well, we saw some EMPs coming through that were absolutely massive, and now you don't have to throw your translocator up in the air to tag everybody around you. You can just jump off, whee,
Yeah. Woohoo! It's kind of like something out of Super Mario Brothers.
and look at me.
Just fly. Yeah.
uh,
Oh, but we are gonna, it looks like it is going to be full dives coming out from both of these teams here. Argentina though is teasing us with the Sombra. Um, Sombra is once again could be really good, especially to hack out a Winston, disable that escape mechanism, or even honestly the Diva here because disabling that defense matrix is huge, especially too if you
yeah.
want to see Fat Connor go in for the Death Blossom. We've seen the combo before and it definitely works.
Yeah. And the key to making that combo so effective is all the follow up and aid that he gets, precursoring that fight of forcing out different resources and abilities. And of course, Argentine just plain hacking people out of their abilities that were shutting him down midway. Uh, the control maps have been, a lot of back and forth between the two. As far as we saw Insidious almost dominate the very first control map that we had seen. And then, UC Davis really came back and showed us quite a lot of different firepower they could bring to the table, honestly. They were popping off, and
yeah, they were.
It's not going to be quite the same potential with a Tracer Reaper as far as we saw Monterey on the patch boost. A lot of blue fire is going to be first person to be hacked up, though, and, well, has to give a little bit of ground in the process. Insidious trying to take the high ground, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it, Mark. They've already lost one of their tanks here, and, oh, we are on a pause real quick. Looks like Monterey here might be having a little bit of issues. Wondering if Monterey is in also the lovely city of Monterey here in my NorCal state. I actually used to go to college in Monterey at their
Oh,
school.
no way.
So, a little bit of soft spot for the name.
Yep.
Good old times there. Beautiful school, 1 mile from the beach, so you can't complain. But Marks, nobody's capped the point yet.
No, honestly, it's super unfortunate that that pause did have to come in because Monterey was looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Monterey, but UC Davis Blue were looking pretty good in that team engagement. Right now, they're all just hanging out on the point, being all buds with each other. But they've only got a Winston and a Lucio left to deal with on point from Insidious. So in theory, they should just be able to be like, yo,
Yeah.
what's up? 6v2. Let's go. Let's fight it out on this point right now. And
Right?
pure numbers, in theory, could win. However, I don't want to say that because it is possible, especially with someone like Winston, especially with someone like Lucio. You can stall out for a decent amount of time in order to allow your team to come back and help you out.
And on this map in particular, too.
Oh yeah.
With the
Oh
center
yeah.
pillar.
Oh yeah. There's so much defense there. You're playing ring around the rosy half the
That's it all.
time. Oh my goodness. There have been the amount of times that we've just been running around in circles and it's just like, geez. But Monterey getting Fat Connor, that's gonna help seal the deal here. As he also gets Demon Reed. Monterey just looking so good on this Tracer today.
Yeah. Actually, I'm surprised that they didn't just opt to give a full round restart on the first bit. I wouldn't be very surprised. And that's what I do. I'm like, we haven't really started.
Just hand wavy it.
Right? But, I mean, that's an initial pick coming through for UC Davis Blue. So, they are UC Davis Blue. We cut the blue out for purpose of them being red. But
that was nothing with my brain.
Early, right? That's a whole different element coming through. But Coalescence is going to be popped here from Virus. There's nothing to block that, Mark. They're just going to get melted by it.
Dream Psychotic?
Psychotic. That was a good pulse bomb, but I think the damage is done, and UC Davis has already won this fight.
Yeah, we can see the full reset is going to be coming in through for Insidious now. Really, UC Davis Blue, it seems like they found their footing in this current composition there. Freaky Frog and Monterey, once again, just doing absolutely crazy amounts of work. Meanwhile, Blue Fire holding back the front line with khakis. That's that level of teamwork that we want to be seeing, and they're able to do it off the back of Virus and Axe alone. We're going to see the offensive coalescence here as the self-destruct gets committed to the back.
Oh, Demon Breed is the person to get clipped by that. Jack Connor goes ahead and pops his own Death Blossom, absorbed by a bunch of DM coming through from khakis, and UC Davis continuing to hold strong on the point. The Winston from Freaky Frog is primal raging everywhere. He manages to dodge the EMP because of it, but a lot of his teammates have been clipped. Sound barrier comes through, and Aqualon is reinforcing everyone. Blue Fire can get aggressive, and well, everyone's able to dodge that self-destruct that flew through from Green Psychotic. UC Davis 85% and counting.
Yeah, look at this. Demon Breed pops his Primal Rage, trying to push them back, but at this point, the fight is lost. You know, you still got your Sombra there to help you out, but at this point, you should have stayed the Primal Rage in order to stall out the point. Maybe that was the long game here, as we see that they are going to be going to overtime as Demon Breed does fall down. A Coalescence coming online for UC Davis Blue as well is going to make this extremely hard for Insidious to push it.
Yeah, and she's just shredding through everyone, putting in the damage, able to heal her teammates in the same time. Jack Connor's the only person left alive from Insidious, trying to stall this point out as long as he can, and that's UC Davis having a really nice performance as far as offense, taking the point, and well, handling all of the trickling that is coming through from Team Insidious.
Yeah, that was honestly a beautiful execution there. Once again, Insidious was running into the same problem that UC Davis Blue was earlier. Necessarily the trickling in issue, because you know they weren't playing together as a team, allowing UC Davis, especially in Monterey, to just move in there and secure those kills. Absolutely punishing, honestly, onto Insidious. And oh, looks like we might be having a little bit of a pause here as Freaky Frog has to quickly restart their game here, but no problem. We're just going to be waiting out in this lobby so we can just chat about some more Overwatch strategy here, which I love doing, Sid.
Ooh, yeah. I think that seeing Virus on this Moira too has been a nice change of pace for UC Davis. Those coalescences, we know coalescence charges fast, but you have to actually get value to charge it fast, and Virus is having them very regularly online and able to use them in an effective offensive and defensive manner simultaneously, and obviously that's when you can get the most value out of a coalescence. That's what it's there for.
Yep, it's once again with the way that UC Davis Blue is playing this. You know, we saw this a lot in the Overwatch League. I think it was the May Melee. Moira was played quite a bit alongside the Reaper, and the reason why that composition worked was because, you know, the teams were poking damage at each other, build up the coalescence, and then it's just like walk in a straight line but really hard engage. And that way the coalescence can just keep everybody up while also doing damage. That's why it was always a battle who could get their coalescence online first. And we saw that same theory in play here for UC Davis Blue. When they had the coalescence, you could see the team just kind of converged in on a single enemy, which just allowed Virus to just aim that coalescence there, not only healing but also burning down whichever person they decided to target. So great coordination coming in, and this is really working out for the speed that they want to be playing here.
To see if they can continue to bring the heat like we saw in the last round. They are going to go ahead and take the high ground here to start themselves off on this map, as Insidious has the low ground. They are set up with that Reinhardt, and going to be looking to wait a little bit for the engagement of UC Davis. What a fire strike, already a 20% here. And now Daria gets very charged up, a lot of damage soaked up on that front. Now Insidious aggressed forward. They have their immortality field out, and they are not afraid to tap the point. Holding space there.
That was okay. Demon Breed is just getting a little creative back there. He went for he pretty much left his team just to charge somebody, and that honestly worked because taking that Lucio out really helps just absolutely seal the nail in the coffin there. But you know, I think it was a little bit of a sloppy engage by UC Davis. they all just decided to run into the rush composition, which really saved Insidious a lot of time. Because so the problem with rush is that you have to get up into the opponent's face. And it's great when the opponent just decides to come to you. And so right now we're seeing the swap actually. They are also going to be playing rush. So now they're going to be getting into each other's faces. But still, Insidious, they've got the point.
We have a High Noon facing off at the same time as a Coalescence. Neither of them finding a kill yet, but that pulse bomb, it was going to be bad, but Dream Psychotic able to dodge it and keep himself topped off thanks to those supports. Now they've been pushed back into the side as the point is trying to be Captain UC Davis. They flip it right there. I thought that they were going to try to contest it a little more, but now they need to regroup. It's not worth the trickling fight here unless they can truly turn it back in their favor, because control every little bit is going to tick up in their favor marks, and now UC Davis has a pretty solid footing on it.
Yeah, I think it's the combination of their players still alive, but we are going to be seeing a little bit of an engage here, as actually Demon Breed is going to be getting the D-Mech on their Dream Psychotic, taking out Bluefire. Now the kill feed is just lighting up. Look at Insidious go. They're able to flip this point over, and they're richer for it. Look at all of those ultimates now online for them. They've got 5 for this next fight.
It is ults galore for them, and you know, they're going to be very happy with how that last engagement turned out. I'm surprised that they still let the point flip over so quickly and easily, but they're at 72%, so they're not going to be hurting.
Yeah, they're going to be sitting pretty here. We see now UC Davis, we're getting ready to engage on the high ground. Last time this happened, didn't work out too well, but we're going to be seeing a High Noon come from Argentina.
Reinforces everyone. Shatter comes through from Freaky Frog, finding a couple people, and he's able to follow up on it. The point flipped over in the blink of an eye, and just as fast as that, the fight has been taken by UC Davis.
That, Sid, I'm at a loss for words there. That looked like it should have been Insidious, hands down. The amount of ultimates they had online, UC Davis did a great job to not only just basically use 2 ultimates for that fight, but suck out so many ultimates from Insidious. And now Insidious aren't in a great position to re-engage this, you know? Demon Breed gonna have to be pretty good with that shatter, but they might open up with the engagement from Speedweed's sound barrier, but losing RNT already is not how you want to start this.
Fires Death Blossom, gets him pinned across the map instead.
Ooh.
Shatter in time to stop the counter pin coming through from Freaky Frog was huge by Demon Breed. He was able to turn around and 180 shatter him, and now they're trying to take the point back in their favor. It's just the Tracer, and now she's gone, and it is all Axelon. I mean, now that he's gone, Insidious is going to flip the point in their favor. 88% in counting marks. UC Davis gotta hurry.
Shout out to Yuri on that one, really making sure that Demon Breed could do whatever he wanted and get away with murder, essentially. You don't see that happen too often from your support, but you love it when it happens. Now, this is the overtime, so they're going to have to re-engage really quickly. Kaki's, though, does have the self-destruct, and it's committed.
So it's the Death Blossom from Fat Connor, and it is finding a couple people. Kakis gets the crush kill onto Argentina, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Kill after kill coming through from Insidious. Please through UC Davis. And, well, honestly, are playing it rush straight in their face and swinging away with all their might.
Oh no! Freaky Frog unfortunately was on the high ground, didn't come down in time to touch the point in order to stall it out just a little bit longer. Unfortunately died before he can even hit the ground. So I guess no bodies are going to be hitting the ground right there, because the Wrecking Ball, when they die, they kind of explode. So a little unceremonious. Could be considered fireworks, I guess. Maybe more shrapnel. But regardless, once again, Insidious, once they got that foothold on there, you know, that one fight was a little bit rough for them, where UC Davis Blue was able to turn it around, but you can tell that at Insidious, they just did not let that slow them down at all.
No, and the fight where they got Insidious to use up all of their ultimates but only using 2, Insidious had 5 on the board marks. You were absolutely right to call out that stellar ult economy in usage, and honestly, that's just like good quality base gameplay. Not ultimate gameplay, that's just being good.
Yeah, it especially too in a game like Overwatch, watching which ultimates are online and cycling through them is extremely important. But also as important, how do you counter them? And, you know, Freaky Frog really came through for his team using that Earth Shatter to, I believe that stopped the Deadeye as well as the Amplification Matrix, because everyone who was behind the Amplification Matrix just got stunned. And now, they're going to be engaging here in University. It looks like we're going to be seeing a double rush. Let's go.
If you're stunned, you can't shoot, and the first stun comes through actually onto Freaky Frog. He just gets punched straight backwards into his own team, and, well, you know, damage is healed up and topped off. The Doomfist, big points of engagement, and Blue Fire's the first person to go down. The stun from Argentine onto Freaky Frog mid-charge is going to be enough. All the damage is there, and Insidious follows up on that.
Our Argentine just, once again, looking great on almost every single DPS hero, because even on this Doomfist, when you play the Doomfist, there's one thing you want. Very fast picks, and then you get out. And he is biding his time. He's not being too aggressive with it, being very patient, waiting for those opportunities in order to make sure that somebody who is damaged is immediately taken out of the fight. So hats off to him. We're going to be needing to see Blue Fire kind of step it up a little bit and not be too overly aggressive in order to maximize the value from that Doomfist.
Hit him fast and hit him hard. Argentine dives in, does get a little chip damage onto Freaky Frog, but, you know, knows that it's not quite the right time. Both Amplification Matrixes run out. Everyone tries to punch Freaky Frog, the stunned Freaky Frog straight into the well. No follow-up kill going to be able to be taken on him, but with him out of the picture and out of the fight, he's just taking everyone. It's easy pickings for Insidious, and oh, he tried to charge it.
That's just unfortunately for Freaky Frog, you know, especially for how you want to play this one. You want your Reinhardt as kind of your queen on the chessboard, right? And especially too if he falls down that little hole in the middle there and has to take the long way around. You know, he was just kind of hitting himself over the head, being like, "Oh, this is so sad," as his team tried to hold the front line, but it wasn't.
Shatter, it comes out from Freaky Frog to negate the grab and any potential for follow-up on that. Everyone from Insidious is standing back up. He charges across, and now the High Noon is added on top of it. Everyone from Insidious is zoned back, and UC Davis just flipped the point.
That was excellent showing from UC Davis. Freaky Frog opening that up with a Shatter was enough to kind of scare Insidious back. Even if the team couldn't capitalize on it, they already had Insidious on the run, which just allowed the rest of UC Davis to move in there. Also, too, McCree did have his Deadeye online, too, so extra zoning. Make sure that the team is all running for cover, and then use your heroes to run in and take a couple out in order to win that team fight.
Blue Fire just waiting, punched him straight off the edge, Mark. No need to get him the kill.
No remorse.
Throw him in the middle and throw him off the side. Straight out of there, and well, now Insidious does not have as much to give. They go ahead and give the Shatter for this fight. Everyone stands back up, and Demon Breed does pay for it with his life. 2 supports in the grab, and that's all clean up.
Yeah, UC Davis right now, they turn this one back around. Blue Fire turning it up a little bit more, able to get in some damage, but also dislocate the Reinhardt. We saw earlier what happens if your Reinhardt is out of position, and Blue Fire knows that. So if you watch closely, he's getting punches onto the Rein, which also very valuable target, because that's going to take away the shield potential from the enemy team, allowing you to just take up the squishies.
There it is, a stun comes through, and a beautiful follow-up from Freaky Frog onto Insidious with the Shatter. It's a clutch immortality field from Yuri, and Monterey's High Noon shredded them all.
No, you know, that's a good High Noon right there. Usually you see the High Noons just be kind of zoning here, but now this is just going to allow UC Davis Blue to get up a lot more of the space as they're really advanced forwards here. But we're getting really close to last fight territory, Sid. This could be it, as Freaky Frog already finds the pick onto Yuri with the Fire Strike.
Yeah, and Argentine answers in response with his own Doomfist punch pick onto Blue Fire. A lot of damage off the board for UC Davis, but they don't care. Monterey's been popping off, and so is Freaky Frog. Everyone's there to follow up, and it's just Pat Connor trying to hold the point alone, but UC Davis holding strong and taking this last map of the night.
So good job to UC Davis there. It seems like they figured out a little bit more the importance of playing things together as a team. You know, you could see a lot more of that coordination coming in from the team, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, we saw those coordinated flashes, earth shatters, blue fire, getting the cleanup kills, all of that type of stuff. And
Yeah.
they made Insidious feel a little bit more threatened. Obviously, Insidious, though, you could tell towards the end there, they were probably just taking it a little bit easier on their end because they're like, okay, we kind of got our practice in. Let's just have some fun. Which
Yeah.
always got to respect. This is still a video game. Video games are meant to be
We're
played for fun.
Yes. And we're not here to make other people's experiences unenjoyable. That's why you're playing video games. Nah. You should probably start thinking about yourself a little more instead of other people.
You heard it
But
here first. Sid said it. I didn't, just for the record.
I'm telling you to be selfish and think about you having fun.
Right, of
But
course.
UC Davis, some of those some of those stuns that they had with the blue fire stunning demon breed and then having their Reinhardt Freaky Frog follow up with a pin while he's down, I thought was some good teamwork, just on some of the smaller level of what we saw come through from UC Davis. But all around, everyone did a really great job this evening. I think we saw some pretty clear growth from Insidious, and when UC Davis pulled out some more comfort picks for themselves, it was a very different tune they were singing.
Absolutely. And, you know, Insidious, they were trying out some new stuff there. You could definitely see where some of their weaknesses are, but that's the point of scrims. You know, you got to test it out there, get a little bit more experience with it, and that's how you're going to get better overall.
Totally. And always better in scrims than in a tournament or a semifinals.
Absolutely.
Or maybe finals, when we see these guys
Yikes.
later down after all this hard work. But it's been a long night, and we are wrapping up for the evening marks. Scrim blocks over, and we'll have to wait until what we see in the next couple of weeks for the growth coming through from Insidious once again. Big thanks to everyone who tuned in and supported the stream and all the teams, of course. Good job out there, UC Davis. Good performance coming through, especially on that last map. And Marks, thanks so much once again for joining me this evening. Is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
It's always a pleasure to cast alongside you. Whenever you ask me if I'm free, you know I'm going to be here, Sid. But also, too, thanks to Killshot for bringing me on board, and thanks to Insidious. I'm excited to, once again, like you said, continue to see them grow and hopefully see them in a tournament because this is the second time I've seen this team, and honestly, they look pretty damn good.
Yeah, they have had some very clear benchmarks of growth and evolution in their gameplay, and I'm looking forward to see what they continue to bring to the table. Scrims are always on Thursday night. I know they got them on Tuesday nights as well, typically covered by Juggle God, which, he's a regular around the scene as well. You know that, Marks.
Yeah, I do.
Um, but thank you, everyone, once again. And we hope you all have a great rest of your evening. And we'll see you next time on Killshot Esports.
Have a good night, everyone.